What's up, Taiwan? I'm Reece with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. A week into the 10-day annual military exercise in Taiwan, troops in Taipei are rehearsing how to handle serious injuries in a wartime scenario. As Alan Liu reports, the drill follows live fire exercises in Taiwan's strategic outlying islands.
U.S.-made battle tanks opened fire, sending smoke rising over the water. Taiwan's military has conducted live fire drills on the outlying Penghu Islands as part of the annual Kuang exercise, simulating a defense against a Chinese airborne assault. The drill features tanks, howitzers, machine guns, and drones. Penghu holds strategic importance because of its position just off Taiwan's main island.
中共会想方设法 在他攻台之后，先把澎湖拿下来，那他也可以把兵力往前前推，他也可以当成他陆航基地或者防空基地，或者是后勤整补基地。
While these are military drills the country holds every year, Taiwan has in recent years come under increasing pressure from China, which claims Taiwan and has not ruled out the use of force to take it. Taiwan has been stepping up its defensive preparations, and here in Taipei, they're training for another key part of defense, treating battlefield casualties. The Taipei Reserve Brigade has been fully mobilized for this year's exercise, and here they're practicing combat casualty care, where they treat wounded troops, aiming to keep forces in the fight after an attack. The drill simulates troops getting injured while fighting off an enemy, forcing them to treat their own injuries and help other wounded soldiers. And despite a thunderstorm, the training continues. But some analysts say Taiwan still has work to do before it can fully handle large numbers of war casualties.
作战当中，我可能会产生很大量的外科式的创伤的，在我们国家来讲，所有医院加起来，外伤的病房、外伤的手术室，其实是远远不足的。
And in eastern Taiwan, troops have simulated a response to a chemical attack, learning to evacuate and treat exposed personnel and decontaminate armored vehicles. The drills are all aimed at making sure troops can respond effectively to any kind of attack. Pak Chi-chen and Anna Lu for TaiwanPlus.
The presence of US observers is more visible during this year's Kuang. What are the implications of defense collaboration between the two sides? Isabel Wang from our Zoom In, Zoom Out team sat down with Dmitry Alperovich, chair of Silverado Policy Accelerator, a think tank based in Washington, D.C., to talk about what he has observed.
You're a very active figure in DC's defense technology ecosystem. Coming here, what do you think is the current status of the U.S.-Taiwan defense collaboration?
I think it's stronger than ever, and you see at this year's exercise more and more Americans like myself showing up and observing. Obviously, we're right now waiting for the final approval of the weapons package, the weapons sales package to Taiwan. We've had a number of them over the years, and it's great to see the new equipment that has now arrived, the HIMARS systems and others now being used in these exercises.
With more U.S. presence, where do you think that this kind of collaboration is heading toward?
You know, if we're going to be in a fight vis-a-vis China, we have to cooperate. We have to not be at arm's length, right? We have to not only know that when we go left, you need to go right to deconflict, but really from targeting perspective, from the joint intelligence picture on the enemy, we need to make sure that collaboration, that those communication links work really well.
Will you foresee there will be more U.S. personnel at presence, and then what would they interact, or how would they teach the Taiwanese military side?
Well, we'll see. As you know, U.S. personnel presence on Taiwan is always a thorny issue, but certainly we're seeing more and more Taiwanese military personnel coming over to the U.S. for training exercises. You know, watching the helicopter pilots today was great because you know that they were trained in part in the United States, in Mississippi and other places. So this is just a key indication of the growing interconnectedness between the two militaries.
So we actually had the first internet slowdown as part of the resilience drills. what do you think that the military or like local government or even just civilians like us can work together to improve this type of resiliency?
So I think there needs to be more done to look thoroughly at the networks that are currently used in Taiwan, mobile networks, terrestrial and satellite networks, and see what can be done to up the bandwidth, to make it more resilient. Right now you have this amazing revolution that's taking place in satellite-based communications. So this is an opportunity for not just the government, but even private sector companies in Taiwan that are worried about these scenarios that can be caused, again, both natural disasters and man-made disasters, to think about how do you make sure that this most vital resource, the internet, nothing except maybe water and power is more vital, remains on even during the most dire scenarios.
That was Dmitry Alperovich, chair of Silverado Policy Accelerator. Stay tuned for the full episode of Zoom In, Zoom Out on the TaiwanPlus News YouTube channel or website. President Lai Ching-te has met with the Prime Minister of St. Vincent, Godwin Friday.
首先，我要再次感谢富莱德总理就任后首次的跨国访问，选择来到台湾，向国际社会展现两国坚实友好的邦谊。
The Caribbean country is one of Taiwan's 12 diplomatic allies. The two countries will celebrate 45 years of ties at a reception on Wednesday evening. Friday's 2025 election win ended his rival party's 24-year hold on power, and his visit eases concerns that his party would shift recognition to Beijing. Godwin will meet with prospective investors and business leaders while here.
And my government has identified 4 key pillars of our economy that will be the engine room for growth: agriculture, tourism, the blue economy, and the new economy. Of course, I encourage investment in all sectors, but these 4 have the greatest potential for rapid growth.
The Prime Minister is scheduled to leave on August 16th. A Chinese citizen living in Taiwan has been sentenced to 7 years in prison on anti-infiltration and fraud charges. Xu Chunying, a former head of a Taiwan People's Party committee serving the new immigrant community, was convicted of using funds from Beijing to gather political intelligence and campaign for local candidates. She was also found guilty of falsifying documents to illegally bring a Chinese official into Taiwan. She previously admitted to fraud but denied violating the Anti-Infiltration Act. Prosecutors said her actions threatened Taiwan's democratic processes. The companies building the hardware behind the AI boom are gathering in Taipei. The Open Compute project is holding its 2-day summit this week, bringing together firms across the AI infrastructure supply chain. Our reporter Lily Lamattina was there.
AI may look like a software revolution, but behind every AI response is a massive race to build the physical infrastructure that makes it possible. That's the focus of the 2026 Open Compute Project, or OCP, summit taking place in Taipei. OCP is a global, industry-led initiative that promotes open designs and standards for data center infrastructure.
We felt like we had the right technology. We just needed to be able to interface with the right people in order to get the right solution in the application. And so Open Compute Project was the perfect place for it. And we've been participating in OCP for about 10 years now.
OCP was launched by Meta in 2011 after the company redesigned its own data center infrastructure. The idea was to share those designs and engineering practices rather than keep them proprietary. Today, data centers are the physical backbone of AI. They house the chips, servers, and equipment to train AI models. They also require enormous amounts of power, cooling, and other infrastructure. And as AI demand grows, the goal of OCP is to make building these data centers more scalable and compatible across vendors.
And OCP is very good at bringing it together and kind of getting some standards around that so we can, uniformly move in the right direction, but keeping it open so vendors like us can be involved and other vendors can collaborate and make the end result better.
That puts Taiwan at the center of the conversation.
We really see the importance of Taiwan in its place in the supply chain globally. I mean, so much is manufactured here, so much development is done here, so much technology is housed here and starts here that we would be crazy to ignore it. I mean, it's really got an important place worldwide, and so this is really one of the first places we wanted to come.
Hosting the OCP Summit in Taiwan puts that global push for open hardware together with the companies actually building it. Chris Ma and Lily Lamatina in Taipei for TaiwanPlus.
Nvidia is partnering with major Wall Street players to raise $500 billion for AI infrastructure. Investors including Goldman Sachs and Blackstone have signed deals with the chipmaker that would allow customers to deploy more Nvidia-powered systems. The partnership highlights Nvidia's growing ties with Wall Street to help fund the chips, power generation, and data centers driving the AI boom. In a country with one of the lowest birth rates in the world, people in South Korea are turning to pets for companionship. But it's hard to know what these four-legged family members are thinking. So pet owners are turning to a new way to interpret their relationships with their animals, tarot. Amanda Stevens has more.
It's a common question animal owners ask themselves. Staring into their furry companion's soulful eyes, they might wonder, what exactly is my pet thinking?
Since this little one has trauma, unlike other dogs, I was really curious. I wanted to know what he was thinking. He sleeps next to me every night and follows me around like a bodyguard. And I was genuinely curious whether that's hard for him. I thought he might get tired. So I was really curious about those kinds of things.
To get the answer to such an elusive question, some in South Korea are turning to fortune-telling. Pet Tarot is a new service that's supposed to offer insight into what's going on in their furry little heads. Some owners even say it's a gateway for connecting with them on a deeper level.
When it comes to communicating with tarot, this is what tarot means to me. If I had previously understood only about 5 simple emotions, such as this one is sick, happy or sad, and so on, tarot now seems to speak to me in at least 20 or 30 different kinds of language.
Like Taiwan, South Korea is struggling with a declining birth rate as education and housing costs rise. As people opt not to have children, pets are offering a different kind of companionship. One fortune teller says that tarot reading for her pets goes beyond blind chance. Instead, it's a way for people to interpret their actions.
Through their sense of smell, they take actions such as placing a paw on a certain part, or if they're more active, lifting their nose. So you can think of it as a method in which we read the cards that they've chosen in that way.
Each tarot reading session with Hwang Soo-kyung costs roughly $14. And she says that her clients always come back eager to learn more about their pets. She has designed different decks for different species, like turtles and other reptiles. With ownership in South Korea growing, Hwang offers people a chance to better understand their deep relationships with their pets, letting the tarot cards speak for those that can't speak for themselves. Scott Hwang, Leslie Liao, and Amanda Stevens for TaiwanPlus.
Mina moved from the Philippines to Taiwan aged 42 after meeting her Taiwanese husband. Leaving behind a life as a jack of all trades, she built a new life, balancing her work as a janitor with supporting her husband, who has cerebral palsy. In this episode of Hacker TV's Home Sweet Home, we see how faith and devotion can help a couple overcome language barriers and life's difficulties.
Taiwan. Busi gongso. Gongso is just bonus for me. The mere fact is that I married my husband, so not the best wife, but a good wife. Sabi na, wo hao lo po ma.
好老婆啊，你照顾家庭啊。
因为我的老公呢，他不可以走路。因为的移民书 they gave me a hard time to come here after our marriage. Why? Because they cannot believe that I married a disabled guy. The Chinese name, Liu Changren, Wo Wangqi. So, women Wangdu, boyfriend, girlfriend. So, Wojao Tahani. Ta Yang. He can't pronounce my name. Mila. So, Ta Jawo Hani. Woman, Shigo na Hani. Before I came to Taiwan, I was an international restaurant manager, preschool teacher. I was a tourist guide at SBME. I also worked in a hospital for a short term. So many jobs. 我的工作拿叶子、拿垃圾、倒垃圾、扫厕所。Hi, I'm Milagros Yu from Bataan, Philippines. I am married and living here in Taiwan for more than 9 years. I'm cleaning this park. This is my job. Here in Taiwan, night market job, I wash the dishes during daytime for half day. Steak dishes, you know, the iron plate, lasted me for two weeks. I earned $600 NT for a day, half day. Yeah. I also work as Laurenja, Song Mama. I took care of her for 5 months. One sang part-time, 3 hours, giving her a bath and then feeding her. 500. They gave me 500 every day. 早安，大哥，好久不见。上个礼拜你还没有来。
对，我好几天没来了。
大哥，哦，现在你的地方很好。
谢谢啦。谢谢啦。
哇，我要大小2个公园，东兴公园和这个地方清华公园。Cleaner 2016, the Miaoli Employment Center helped me to get that job. They recommend that job to me. And then I said, okay. So the first Kongyuan that I cleaned was Kongwei Susui Tao. So I love cleaning because I clean alone. I don't need to I don't need to use a lot of Mandarin. I just clean. But I love talking to people, so I keep talking to them, especially for the Laurenja. I don't know if they understand me, but they're smiling and they're responsive.
你们菲律宾有没有做过？
有。
有啊。
谢谢大哥，我给老公。In considering a job, the distance is very vital because I want to be closer to my husband. Right now, my husband is getting older, me also, but he's getting older faster than me. So I need to consider the distance and then the time also, because I know that my husband needs me and I want to serve my husband, you know. So that is very vital for me.
我去 A 市场卖瓜瓜了，品种当地上一样的 A 市场做生意啊。 阿春，我来了，老妈呀！对，今天买会中了呀，会中，今天会中了，这是新的呀。真的，昨天就有中了，今天是中大奖啊！我这2天会很累啊，看着他们在拍摄我，在工作呀，然后家庭生活啊。所以说，你看你现在已经上镜头，你知道吗？哎，老板，我来了，大来了。今天买会中啊，要有信心，好不好？那通常我是就在10点左右呀，就来这边市场卖。我们这卖这个20多年了，就是卖都是大部分老客户了，比较多。哎呀，我卖有好几种，有100的、200的，然后300不一定。平常卖的差不多之后呢，看没有我就会去银行批一些回家卖。要有证件，有那购买证，不能随便批掉。大财啊，我呢？那种啊，要300万。
那我有中200。
来换哦。换哦！
换钱啊！
你懂吗？
你玩100块的。6号、2号200。
对，中200。
200。
对，有吗？
有。
上台有，哇，这种。
咦，小心你的腹要大便哦。大便啊？对呀，没有办法，大便要大便的腹地，因为礼拜6、礼拜天没有人用，没有人出，突然啊！因为这个 can help a lot of people. If I don't do this, who will? That's why I took nursing. Nursing, yes. I don't think it's less educated when you go to this kind of job. I think it's more challenging for me because, when I see those things, a lot of when I saw some changes after I hold those things. So I feel rewarded seeing those people happy and then breathing good air, seeing dirty things gone into clean ones. So for me, it's rewarding. Wait, this is already so. Buhayin.
我在查看，这是我最好的客户，每天跟我买。对，
我是他的忠实观众。
忠实客户。每天都
给他骗的。
对，他每天就叫我什么？
他的绰号就是诈骗集团，如果中了头奖，我一付2次起子，诈骗集团送给他。
对呀，那种。
每年都马跟他买整本都。
没有。
你人缘很好呢，泰国。
哎呀，还好。以前有好几个人在那，可能就是慢慢的话，生意有关系了，还有可能就是你的经营的方式啊。买酒啊，人家就知道可能要跟生了。 那肉色，哦哟，名字，绕口，很开心，那边都来很开心，这个那边来到开心很重要。
哎，要跟他买100块的啊，不然呢？开心刮刮乐乱拿给我拿，都没有中过了。那么好中，大家都不用中。对没？他每次买都中，我都没有中了。都是他拿给我的啦。
啊，你不是叫他财神爷？
以前很好中了，现在没有了。今天生意好不好？
今天还好。
还好，不用买了。还好不用买了啦，买什么？还好不用买。
还好，真的小不好。
还要买干嘛？
还好，奶油会更好了，奶油更好。你看，那做容易吧？两个多小时，像求证机了，因为他不舒服，我的肉2个多小时。那这时间差不多12点多了，差不多人还没有啊，就不要回家了。我幸好就卖好久一点，不太好就回家这样。我的工作很自由啊，这样。
That was part 1 of Mina's story. Stay tuned tomorrow for part 2. You can find more episodes of Home Sweet Home on Hacker TV's YouTube channel. Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Finally, we leave you with images of daring divers leaping from a waterfall in Bosnia and Herzegovina. I'm Reece. Take care and see you next time.